Foster Kid Playground. I am your haunted hangout host, John Faust, aka Danvers. You know, whatever you want to call me. Let's dig up a little fun, shall we? We'll dig it up. Today, my very dear friend is joining us, Dr. Sarcofiguy himself,
Yay!
John Dimes. John, how are you? Yay! Yay!
Oh, this is where I act like Michigan J. Frog and I just go, you just get real quiet. Rabbit. I have nothing to say.
That's right.
So how are you? Where are you?
I'm gonna sip on a little iced tea.
Oh, well,
I
have my hot tea in a large mug, and that's all gone.
So I had hot tea this morning. I'm in the great liberal state of Texas, where everything.
You're in Texas. Wow.
Yeah, I'm in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Where everything is just everybody do as you wish, and we're not going to try and control you or anything. It's like a little paradise.
Right. You're a little island there. No, I'm out here and I'm in Maryland right now. Yay! Charming
Maryland is a lot more liberal than
it is
down here.
Yeah, it is.
So,
that's why I live here.
Yeah.
I was born in D.C., not particularly a fan. Born in D.C., I love some Washingtonians, not all Washingtonians.
Washingtonians? I don't know that I've ever heard that.
D.C. prefers to call themselves. Obviously, I never could figure out why this D.C., Washington D.C., and then why I don't get that. I've never gotten that. But at some point, they keep talking about they want to make D.C. an official state, but you got to change the name because there's too many Washingtons on the fucking. Watch my language.
Oh, no, you don't have to watch your language either.
Fucking planet. So.
Yes. Well, so I don't want to fast forward too quickly here because we'll have to backtrack and do all of this stuff. Right. But so you grew up in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And you're very good friends with Count Gore Duvall.
Yes. Matter of fact, obviously he was an inspiration watching, Saturday night, 11:30. It was really difficult trying not to watch Saturday Night Live when he was on because, I love the comedy, obviously, but when you got Count Gore Duvall, you got horror films and all that kind of stuff, and have him being so damn entertaining, you gotta, it was a difficult choice, but not too difficult a choice. Yeah. But yeah.
These are back in the days when you couldn't record things and you had to you had to go to your little turn dial TV and switch back and forth between SNL and Count Gore.
Right. And I remember as a kid, everybody had a VCR. Well, not everybody had a VCR, but when they had a VCR, it was just hilarious. When I think about what VCRs looked like back then, they looked like easy bake ovens, for God's sake. They were enormous. I don't know what your age bracket for your viewers are, but they will never understand the joys of everything downsizing to such slim proportions. Because, damn, the VHS players.
I remember our first VCR.
Yes.
Was this big.
Yeah.
And it's top loaded.
Yes.
So it wasn't one of those things you can put in.
Yes.
And so. And then my dad passed about 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And when we were cleaning out his estate, he still had the damn thing.
Oh,
he still had that
gosh.
giant. So he was a hoarder. So
I can't laugh really because the room I'm in right now is the art room, and thank God you can't see what this art room, because I got books aplenty in this sumbitch, and there's more books elsewhere. So the term hoarder, I remember looking at this magazine.
So I'll just show you this. I'm in my office. Let's see if I can turn this. I'm so tethered. My action figure collection.
Let me see if I can turn it. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Look at all those.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got more books in the other room too.
Oh,
I tried to like
same.
curate and make it look like I'm not just forcing crap in there. But yes,
Well, let me tell you, there was a magazine I saw where a house, it was this beautiful house, and they made sure that anything that was book related could be as part of the furniture. It could be on the stairs and this, then, the other. And I was like, yeah, way to enable me, baby. Yeah.
So I don't want to get too off topic, but so one of my guilty pleasures from time to time is watching Hoarders.
Yeah.
And they had one episode where this couple like literally packed their house so tight full of books. Yeah. And they had bookcases everywhere. And so they come in and they're like trying to clean them up and like, no, we're not going to get rid of one book. But their foundation, like their pier and beam or whatever, it was like sinking because the books were just so heavy and literally destroying their house. So
well, you know, when you watch a show like that, you go, "Oh, I'm not that bad." But always have this as a cautionary tale in your mind, where this older couple, they had all of this shit over their bed, right? And there was an earthquake and it killed them.
Yeah.
Yes. So note to self: you can still be a hoarder, but don't have it over your head.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Isn't that like Earthquake Country 101? Don't have anything over your head over your bed. So, oh my God.
How many toys are we talking? Are we talking about horror toys we got there?
Oh yeah, we're talking horror toys.
Yeah.
So I've got all the NECA like Universal Monsters.
Oh, good.
So
yes.
Masters of the Universe is my cream of the crop. So I've been collecting
obviously that's why you had Penny Dreadful.
That's why I have Penny Dreadful. So I mean,
let me show you something.
That's how we met, is at PowerCon and through our love of that.
But don't move. This is my favorite score. Oh my God, the Vincent Price toy. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So I am waiting for the I guess the 5 or 6 inch scale one from NECA. I've had it pre-ordered for a year, it seems like.
Oh my God, okay.
So who knows when or with the tariffs, if it's ever gonna come. So yeah. But I've got monster toys and Transformers and He-Man and more monsters and yeah.
Awesome.
I love
Did you always know you were going to be a monster lover, a monster kid when you were a kid, or what?
Oh yeah. I mean, so I grew up. I was born in '73. Uh-huh. So I was right on that. I think in other episodes I've talked about this with Penny especially. But it's like I was right on the cusp of like that Aurora model generation, and then like the monster toy '70s generation.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I just ate that shit up. Yeah. And then when the 80s came around, like that was just like, let's advertise to these kids to no end.
Yeah.
And I was a big nerd, so I was collecting toys when it wasn't cool anymore. And then I found theater, and I kind of put the pause button on it. And
okay.
Then everybody's like, then I found girls. Well, clearly I didn't find girls. So, I found theater.
No, the finding girls thing never happened. My God, all I can think about is when I was a kid, like 11, 12, I was nothing but a raging gay hormone. You know what I mean?
My God, me too. Just.
When I look at myself when I was a kid, I was like, God, what an annoying little kid I was. Because I was just mooning. Mark Hamill, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anybody who looked like Mark Hamill, I had a crush on.
Oh yeah.
Original nose, not the
not the post car accident.
Not the Corvette summer nose, but the original Star Wars nose.
Yeah. Oh my God. So like, okay, so when you were a kid, did you always know you were kind of into monsters and horror films and so forth?
It wasn't always so, because it took my mom a while to get me back into understanding that the stuff was fake. Because I was telling another friend of mine that I was terrified of Frankenstein, the True Story, with Michael Saracen and Leonard Whiting and Jane Seymour. And when it came time for me to watch it again, my mom was like, listen, it ain't real. It ain't real. So it's because of her nurturing me back into watching horror films that I was like, because like every Saturday afternoon, there was, when I was living in Charlottesville at this time, there was a show called Slime Theater with Dr. Slime. He was Dr. Sludge in a Slime Theater.
Okay.
And he would show all these horror films. My mom would make sure I was well stocked for the afternoon to watch horror films. And I thank God my mom helped me to dig horror films,
Yeah.
like my first scary ass movie other than Frankenstein, the True Story, was Mask of the Red Death.
Oh yeah.
Holy fucking God. Scared the fuck out of me. But now when I watch it, I just watch it because, man, Vincent Price, when I finally got a handle on Vincent Price as an actor, man, some of that stuff was camp and crazy, but he was so good.
But he treated it like a heart attack. I mean, he was dead serious. And that's why it like worked, because it's like even in the camp, it's like, it wasn't, there wasn't a wink to the audience. He was always like, I'm in this. So
yeah, he was in there for the long haul. He was playing it. He was Prospero. He was Dr. Phibes. He was definitely all of those people. And I think I was watching Madhouse, where he's the guy with, what is it? Is that with him and Peter Cushing? Trust me on
is
that.
Peter Cushing in that one?
Whatever it was, where he was a TV guy. He did a movie, Dr. Death, or whatever the character's name was, and he comes back to play the role, blah, blah, blah. Even then, as crappy fun as that movie was, he was great in it.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think that says a lot. It's like Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, of course, Paul Lugosi.
All three were Geminis.
Oh, yeah. Oh. But I loved them. And I think because they treated the material seriously, I could take it seriously.
Right.
And so that was kind of that influence. But the other thing was, talking about your mother having to like kind of, it's okay, it's pretend and whatever. Yeah. Of course, my mother hated horror films and still does. But she kind of did the same thing for me. But kind of in remembering all of this, I think the stuff that scared the shit out of me intrigued me.
Right.
It's like, it had this reaction. So I, in turn, I'm like, what makes me tick that way? So I started to love all of this stuff. So it's that fear that, like, it's that adrenaline rush that,
Let me tell you, my mom loved horror films so much. One of the movies she wanted me to stay up, because we didn't have a VHS player. And the movie that she wanted me to stay up to watch, to see to the very end, because I had to tell you this before I forgot, Dark Secret of Harvest Home with Bette Davis.
Oh my God, I don't think I've ever even seen that one. Let me write that down.
Yeah. It's a great made-for-TV movie. And if you loved, obviously, Wicker Man and Midsummer, Dark Secret of Harvest Home, mind you, as a kid, she told me to stay awake to watch it because she wanted to talk to her friends downstairs. She was talking on the phone with a friend downstairs because I was upstairs, and she told me to stay awake. I couldn't. So we never found out how that damn movie ended until years later.
So it was the same for me. I one night was watching Brides of Dracula.
Yes.
And I loved it, but I mean, it was on at 1:00 in the morning, and finally I just fell asleep. And it was years later before I even knew what the title of the movie was to go find it. Yeah. So, the days where you had the TV guide if you're lucky, and that's it.
So what movie did you say was the movie that really, like back in the day, scared the hell out of you?
So, I'm sure there were several, but I remember, and I don't think this was ever the first horror movie I ever saw, but I remember being a little kid. This had to be 70. When did this come out? 76. So it was the BBC Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baby. Yes.
And the scene where Dracula gives the baby to the bride.
That's exact. Oh my God.
And I was just like, ah!
I was the same way. So I was the same way. When he has that baby and you see those brides go smacking their lips.
Oh yeah, and they got those red eyes.
Yes.
I was like, oh fuck, I am out.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's what. Oh my God, I remember sitting by my. First of all, I'm too fucking loud. Sorry, but
no,
anyway,
you're fine.
I remember
we'll
it was 77. It was 77 or 78 when it came out.
Okay,
and I remember sitting there by myself watching that damn thing, and you said exactly the same thing I said. The baby,
So that would make sense because I would have been like 5-6 years old at that point. So I kind of knew enough to understand and comprehend what was happening, but not enough to be like, this is make-believe. So
that is so awesome that you were creeped out by that too. I love that. I love that.
And I am convinced that because that scared me so much, that is why Dracula to this day is like one of my favorite stories. So
yeah. I remember reading Dracula as a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't remember reading Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein, Dracula was a less of a book,
right?
Where Frankenstein was like this and like.
I didn't read Frankenstein until I was an adult, or at least young adult, and I remember it took some time to get through. Yeah. But I've revisited it several times over the years, and the more I've read it, I'm like, okay, I kind of have a little bit understanding of what's happening now.
Right,
and,
right.
I have a huge appreciation for the sort of nuance that has never been explored in really film. It's like one of my favorite trivia questions is I go up to people and I'm like, if you're a real fan, what language does Frankenstein speak? Or the Frankenstein's monster, I'm like, what language? And they're like, I don't know. French. He speaks French. So
he does?
He does. He learned how to speak when he was under that cottage, and he would listen to that family, and they were refugees from France. So they all spoke French.
Would you look at you? Oh my God!
I am an uber nerd. So
wow! I am mighty fucking impressed. I thought I was gonna say, nah, dog. He speaks German. He's motherfucking Frankenstein.
But I mean, that's what a lot of people kind of think, and I mean, I thought that for a long time. But it's like, no, he this is all in that pocket between France and Italy. So
I am so proud of your nerdy ass. Look at you. I'm never going to forget that. Oh yes, Frankenstein, the monster spoke French.
He spoke French. You just see Boris Karloff come up and go, "Je m'appelle Boris.
Je m'appelle Monstro." Oh my God, that is so cool that you knew that. I would never have.
Oh my God.
So what happened when you saw Kenneth Branagh's version of Frankenstein? How did you feel about that?
So I was in acting school when I saw that. And I really liked it because it was the first exposure to something that's a lot closer to the book.
Right.
And then towards the end, I felt like it was it kind of went off the rails a little bit, but but I thought it was gothic and pretty and somewhat followed the book. So I mean, I have an appreciation for it.
Well, I was always a big fan of Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite part of that movie is when she wakes up after having her head sewn back on. And the way her head was flopping around while they were dancing. And then when she realizes what's happened to her, oh, God, is she a great actress. And the next thing you know, she runs off, gets the lantern, crushes it on herself, and makes that dramatic fireball out of there. I'm like, damn, that's how you die. That's how you die in a movie. That's right.
And of course that's a lot more dramatic. In the book he just kind of throws it over the side of the He doesn't even reanimate her. He just throws the body over the side of a boat, and that's it. So
Yeah. All right, I got to read the book then. I haven't read it in.
It's really good. I mean, you know, it took me a couple of times,
right,
to kind of like appreciate what it is I was reading, because it's you know, it started out with a letter. And so that kind of automatically goes into Dracula territory with the letters and the journals and all that stuff. So that's what I was expecting, and then it didn't quite go that way. So anyway,
I figured it would be pretty much like you know, with Shakespeare, where everybody's not even, they're waiting for the quotes, as they always say. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Frankenstein has enough quotes for me to blah blah blah. But carry on.
I agree. I don't think there's a lot of quotes. What we think of, it all comes from the films. Yeah. So the book is a very different animal. So anyway.
I still can't figure for the life of me why they decided to give Frankenstein, when they did adapt it, why they gave him the square head.
So the story I've heard is that Jack Pierce did it because he thought he wanted to build up the head, to make Boris Karloff look taller.
Aha.
But secondly, they're like, well, if they, you know, removed the old brain and put a new one in, they think that, oh, maybe it collapsed some or something. So I don't know. I can't pick Jack Pierce's brain, but I will say this. So we're in 2025? It feels like
2025, yeah.
It feels like since January it's been 20 years. But
I agree.
Yeah. In not 26, but in 2027, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Frederick March, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde all go into the public domain.
Yeah.
If the laws don't change. So
I kind of, I'm terrified of that because of what happened with Winnie the Pooh. It's like and of course Popeye apparently is in the public domain.
But you know what? They're just doing that for shock value. In the long run, I think it's a good thing that all this. But like. So, Demented Features, one of my things that I've started doing since we're starting to get public domain films back, is that, like, I have public domain day. And so, January the 1st, I put shit out there. And I may just do a marathon on January the 1st when those movies come out. So,
that'll be
very
great.
Excited.
I just wish, because, like I said, I enjoyed. You know my deal. It's like, I love a good bad movie. I'm fine with it. It's just that
I
I'm
quote
like,
you all the time.
Right. And I just think, oh, thank you. But I sat there when I was watching the Winnie the Pooh movie. I was like, y'all could have gone weirder and harder.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my big gripe. There was one scene in
So I have to say, I have not even seen this movie, but I know exactly the blood and honey thing. Yeah.
It could have gone so much weirder. And I'm like, damn it. One of the stars of the movie is a guy who's in the movie with, what's his name? And I want to say what's his name because I don't know what Eddie Izzard's name is now.
Okay.
But I don't know if you've ever seen Eddie. Well, we will stick with Eddie Izzard because I want to call Eddie by whatever Eddie is calling herself now.
Right.
And Eddie's a gorgeous woman, by the way. Anyway, Eddie Izzard did Dr. Jekyll. Have you seen it?
I have not, no.
One of the stars in the movie is one of the actors and producers of Winnie the Pooh. He's a good actor. But you got to see anyway, you got to see. My point is, this kid's a good actor. I'm like, and you could tell he's smart. So why do?
Yeah.
But you got to see Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll with Eddie Izzard. It is bizarre.
Okay.
She
I loved
amazing.
them as Long John Silver when they did Treasure Island. So,
when did Eddie do Long John Silver?
This has been 10 years ago, maybe.
The last time I paid attention to Eddie was when they were in Willem Dafoe, John Malkovich. Oh, Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he was fantastic in that.
Yeah. Did you see Nosferatu?
Of course I did.
How many
Of
times?
course I did.
How many times?
I saw it once in the theater, and I own the Blu-ray now.
Same. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's
3
good.
or 4 times at this point.
I'll accept that.
Okay. So I told Kevin, I said that the only thing I want for Christmas is on Christmas Day we're gonna go see Nosferatu.
Right.
And we did, and it was fantastic.
Right. And it is a great Christmas movie.
It is, isn't it?
Usually on Christmas we watch Krampus.
Oh yeah.
So within that window we watch Krampus, we watch other bad horror flicks of Christmas relation. Bad Santa. Mm-hmm. Bad Santa's a fun un-Christmas movie. And then we watch Pee Wee Herman's Holiday Special.
Okay. Do you not watch Gremlins? Gremlins is the ultimate Christmas
You know what? Gremlins is so much a part of my DNA. Gremlins and Gremlins, the second batch, are so much a part of my personality that I forget that I don't own it, but I've watched it like 1 billion times.
Yep.
So you're right, I forget. And Die Hard, fuck Die Hard. Fuck it. It's not a Christmas movie.
I feel like that is an argument for the straight people. I'm like, y'all can have your Die Hard argument. So I like that movie. I mean,
it ain't Christmas, baby.
But no, it's not Christmas.
It's not Christmas.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to tell you about the other Krampus movie, the one that had William Shatner in it, which is really good.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Look it up.
Krampus,
it's a good one.
With William Shatner.
I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's William Shatner's in it. I think it's like a.
Why does that not surprise me?
Hey, yeah. Go ahead. You were going to ask me a question. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say. So we all I think share a brain with our our personality and just the stuff we love. So let's talk about. I was going to say let's talk about Dr. Sarcofiguy, but what I'm really interested in before we do that, because I'm sure this leads into that, talk about your stand-up and some of the people you've met.
All right.
Because I think we briefly touched on this, I think just you and me at some point. Yeah. But I'm intrigued by this.
I knew a lot of people, and one of the people, I mean, Patton Oswalt, Wanda Sykes, I only knew indirectly. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, if I had known Wanda Sykes and I had so much in common that we were both fighting for opposite teams, I would have like talked to her more. But Patton Oswalt, and Dave Chappelle, and I was around when Martin Lawrence was getting his start.
Okay.
And there were a lot of people who I thought were going to make it bigger, and this is not an insult to them, it's just an insult to the way the craft works, the way who gets it more than somebody else. I don't get it. Yeah. But the Dave Chappelle I knew, I was telling somebody again, the Dave Chappelle I knew was his mom was such an amazing influence on him. His mom was always there for him, and so now I don't know. He's the whole with this anti-trans shit. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I've heard some very bizarre. So a friend of mine, who I have done theater with, I don't know if he still works, but I want to say it's either the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store, one of those things in L.A. I think he used to manage it.
Yeah,
and he has talked about Dave Chappelle doing drugs on stage or mushrooms or something, and then like being there until like 7:00 in the morning with his little entourage doing stand up, and he's like, "Hey, the cleaning crew is here. We have," and then Dave Chappelle shutting my friend down, and just like it's just very weird. So anyway,
it's one of the first of all. I'm self-editing because I'm trying not to be judgmental, so forgive me as I keep like a tire deflating.
I mean, I get, and you know what? Things happen between like A and B and C for people. So I mean, you know, who am I to?
Exactly. Because they keep saying that when you become famous or when you become a celebrity of such, because I'm a proto-celebrity, so I'm not going to ever have this problem. But when you become such a celebrity, all it does, it enhances what you already are. Like Lionel Richie said, if you are a famous, if you are an asshole, fame will make you an extra of an asshole. If you are a wonderful person, that celebrity status will make you extra of even Michelle Obama said about, you know, presidency. It doesn't change you as a person being a president. It only, boom, you become whatever it is you are extra as a president. And we're not going to go into that because, you know, we'll be sitting there bitching and moaning about the usual. But Dave, I miss the old Dave. And I want J.K. Rowling to shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. I was never a huge Harry Potter fan to begin with. I appreciated the films and I appreciated the stories and so forth. But now I'm just like, and I have a lot of respect for those actors that came and stood up against her and said, you know what, shut the fuck up. But like, I cannot separate the art from the artist a lot of times. So a lot of time when people show their ass, I have a very hard time separating things like that. So
what you brought up, what you just said, reminds me of the movie Jeepers Creepers and the movie Powder, and what else did? Anyway, Victor Salvo. And when I found out that he was a pedophile, a convicted pedophile, and I was like, oh, fuck, but I love those movies. Yeah. And when you watch the movie Powder, it's like, oh, fuck, oh, God. Powder is basically an avatar for all the little boys he's ever touched. I'm like, oh, no. Neil Gaiman for The Sandman. I was like, oh, no, I love The Sandman. Oh, God, Good Omens. I love it. But,
and I mean, I kind of have that same thing with Roman Polanski. I mean, he's clearly a piece of shit, but I mean, he had some brilliant films. So,
me separating the artist from the art, it's like for The Sandman, it actually, I'm not going to ever buy anything else from Neil Gaiman, of course, because I already got a big ass collection of Sandman, and you know, but for Sandman, it actually adds even more complexity to the character because Neil Gaiman is the Sandman. He is that dick the Sandman is a dick, usually. Yeah. And Neil Gaiman, I feel, channeled this dichotomy in character into the Sandman. But but with Harry Potter and stuff, you know, I can watch them now simply because I appreciate Daniel Radcliffe for more ways than one, and I appreciate the fact that they stood up. So it takes that flinch that you have when you're watching it away a bit, because everybody else involved are really cool people. Now the new TV show with John Lithgow, that made me go, ooh, John Lithgow.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, John Lithgow is going to be playing Dumbledore. In the new,
I have not heard anything about this.
Yeah, he's going to be playing Dumbledore in the TV adaptation, or the Hulu adaptation, Netflix adaptation.
Oh my God!
And that threw me for a loop too, because Shorty was the drag queen in The World According to Garp, right?
Yeah.
And he went out of his way to make sure that the part and the character and everything was portrayed in a way where it would dignify the person, not make him look like a joke.
Right.
And people have asked him, well, what's the deal with that? And he says, well, nobody got pissed off when I played, it was a Roald Dahl. It was somebody like Roald Dahl or Ian Fleming or somebody where he was in real life was like Walt Disney was an anti-Semite.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, You get my point.
I mean, I get it. It's there's just a very fine line, And in this day and age, there's you're criticized for playing a part when you're just being an actor. So it's all very complicated. But
what did you think about Terrence Howard when he mentioned that when he was going to play Marvin Gaye, he decided, well, I couldn't play a gay character because I would have turned in my heterosexual card because I ain't kissing no man. I'm much rather rip my lips off. And
I think that's short-sighted and homophobic and obnoxious is what I think.
Right.
So,
because it immediately reminded me of Will Smith, where you saw 6 Degrees of Separation?
Yep.
Now you and me, if we were acting against Anthony Michael Hall, I would have been like all mooching, all on him, method acting up the ass. But but Will Smith, it was who was it? I think it was Denzel Washington told Will, dude, if you couldn't do it, you shouldn't have taken the part.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you read the script, hopefully, before you took the part, so it's or the book or the play. So I have no sympathy for actors like that. I just think it's them showing their ass, so, but.
Now, forgive me that I made you get off the stand-up comedy thing.
Oh, no.
Because you're pretty much like me. Anybody who's listening and paying attention, the train is going to derail.
100%. Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, where you did this? I'm assuming when you were younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I was like, because I carried myself as an older person. I think I started when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody thought I'm quite sure people thought I was 30.
Yeah.
I was drinking way before I was supposed to be drinking, but it wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was about 19.
I thought I carried myself as an older person, but I just carried myself like I was 10 years younger than I actually was.
Right.
I was able to grow this like yesterday. Yeah.
So did you have that awkward moment where you had a high voice and then all of a sudden puberty hit and boom?
Probably. I think... But, I mean, I'm late to the game in every aspect of my life. So I think puberty, it probably hit when it was supposed to hit. But in my mind, I'm like, when is it going to hit? But when it hit, I'm like, oh, that's what that does. So, so...
You got a filthy face. You got a filthy face. God. I love it. It's like, that's that.
Dude, there comes Danvers.
or I got a filthy butt and I'm reading too much into it.
No, I think we're on the same
page. Oh Jesus!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! I'm so glad I actually get to see that face do that. I'm like, that's Oh my God. I tell you, for me, I was lucky. I was one of those people where I was a kid. I had a high voice, but I was fairly articulate. I would call up places to find out if they had a book in the stores. Like, hello, I'd like to get a book, and they would say, yes, ma'am, no problem, ma'am. And I would laugh to myself. I was like, I'm no lady, damn it. I'm an articulate kid. And then finally, when my voice changed, I was like, fuck, I won't be able to sing those songs I used to sing anymore.
Yeah. I was made fun, and especially because I, got involved in theater and all that enunciation. I was made fun of because I was articulate. They're like, why do you speak like that? And I'm just like...
when I was in high school, see, I traveled, I moved around a lot as a kid. And there was a point where I was back in the ghetto, right? And one kid said, a black kid, all black people. So just keep that in your brain. All
Right.
black people like, oh, you speak very proper. You speak very proper. And then this other kid was like, oh, we thought you were a narc. But my favorite insult to the way I speak was from a black drag queen who said, oh, I thought you were trying to be white.
Uh,
And I'm like, you're trying to be a chick. Shut up. I'm like, so finally, after a while where I've had other black people say this, that, and the other about the way I speak, I said, black is a color. It's not a mode of behavior.
Right.
Black has a history, a shared history, and I will do whatever I see fit in that history, you dumb person, you know?
It's like you have to fit in my little categories, or else I can't comprehend anything outside of that.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah,
right.
we've all hit those little fun bumps in the road. So tell us about kind of shifting from that experience and articulate and all this stuff.
Yes.
Dr. Sarcofiguy was a fairly substantial figure in the horror host community, correct?
Well,
you were the first black
I was the
host.
first black. As far as anybody knows, I was back in 95. I was the first black horror host. There are others now. There are others, but
Yes.
and it's funny because when people ask me about that in terms of being what you just said, prominent, I'm like, I feel like I'm famous. I feel like I'm more famous amongst other horror hosts than I am outside of. You know what I mean? Does it make sense?
It does. I like to think of myself as hipster famous. Because like the minute people know who I am, I guess it's not cool anymore. So
Right. Well, it's like I'm always happy when somebody recognizes me, because it at least lets me know that somebody actually liked what I did. Like, this is not me bragging or anything, but I'm always getting like nominated for that Rondo thing, and I'm always delighted about whoever that one person is that keeps nominating me, because I feel like, and this is not an insult to the Rondo Awards whatsoever, because I would love to get one just because it's a beautiful sculpture, and I would love to have it sitting around the house just because it's cool. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, of course.
It's just that I feel like if you, like all the other horror hosts that are on the Monster Channel, whatever, where it's quote unquote limited, a limited release, a limited visual, a limited access to them.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult for other people to really vote right, if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense.
Because Svengoolie,
and that's kind of my point. I think the other thing that I have a little bit of a problem with is that I see the same people nominated over and over and over again, and I feel like, maybe once you've gotten your award, put a cap on it for a couple of years anyway. So
I think it took Count Gordeval 900 years and 900 tries to finally get off of there, because his shelf is bowing in the middle.
Yeah,
I think Penny Dreadful. Excuse me. I think Penny Dreadful won a whole bunch as well, and I don't know. I think that she declined, and that sort of thing, because I've seen some horror hosts now where I'm going, wow, you really should be nominated over me because of the dedication. There's a lot of people out there with a lot more dedication, a lot more visibility. Because I mean, I used to do all that at my stage of proto celebrity. I don't feel like I have to put out as much. You can phrase it any way you want. No, put out as much. I don't feel like I have to dedicate so much time. Like there's another show that I really enjoy. It's called Grave Moon Rings. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we both followed them on Instagram. I think I started following them because you followed them,
right?
And I think they liked something, and then I saw you follow. I don't know how
and
how
you
Instagram
get my point
works.
where these guys, and then you got Marlena Midnight. She gets nominated, but I don't think she's ever won.
Yeah.
And I've told her as much. It's like, damn it, woman.
Well, I mean, for instance, I've put my name out there a couple of times. And I have no expectation to win anything or
same here for me, yeah.
But it's like I think I put my name out there because I'm trying to build a larger audience, and I just want I kind of wanted to be like the guy in the back of the class going, "Hey, I'm actually over here," and then I won't say who, but someone I've supported pretty frequently messages me on Facebook, and they're like, "Don't even bother." And I'm like, "Okay, I've supported you enough, and now you're just like."
Oh,
and I mean, they
you'll definitely dish with me later when we're not.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just kind of like I have only had a couple of occasions where I have not liked the person behind the horror host, and so I don't know where this is going.
I know exactly where it's going. It's going where, because I've had that too. I've had that too with one individual. I won't say their name. We'll dish about that later. It might even be the same person. Because it's really weird when everybody's on our bandwagon. It's incredible. But when you get that one person who might be jealous of what you're doing.
Yeah. But it's like, I have treated Demented Features. We've been doing this 12 years now.
Excellent. Congrats.
Thank you. So, but I've kind of thought of it as an experiment. It's like, what can I do to grow artistically? I look at what other people are doing and so forth, and I've tried some stuff in past seasons, which you've actually been a part of, and I felt like it's crashed and burned. I'm like, that is not where we want to go with this. And part of it was kind of I kind of gave the reins over to someone else to let them write and produce, and I'm like, this isn't your show. So So but then so I've gotten involved with the public access channel, and I feel like my quality's gotten better. And then they moved facilities, and so that kind of and their board is a dumpster fire. So that whole thing sort of dried up. We're actually shooting the last 4 episodes of the season tomorrow.
Cool.
So, but then we'll probably go back to my living room after that, which is fine. I've whittled my set down to be like Elvira, like a black void and candles, and ooh, spooky.
Right.
But I can replicate that no matter where I am.
Where you go, exactly.
So it's I have allowed myself to be able to ebb and flow, if that's the right kind of phrase for the show. Yeah. And I haven't given a shit. I mean, I know I've got my 5 viewers, and that's fine.
Right.
But it's I haven't been locked into I have to produce something every week, and I have to do this, and this.
Right.
I mean, I'm in fucking graduate school right now.
Right.
And I have to have a job and all these things. So it's sometimes I'm like, you know what? We're gonna take a month or 2 off because I just can't do it.
Let me tell you, I understand. I often I'll put myself on hiatus, just so that I can, Now lately, the reason why I'm on hiatus is because, like I said, because of this connection with Dr. Sarcofiguy and being able to do all this stuff that I've been able to do, I've gotten, and of course, your input with me trying to do voice work and all that. It's I'm doing what I've always wanted to do, which is not so much be famous to be everybody to see me, but famous because people are saying, "Oh, he knows what he's doing," and we
And
like
he's
to put
doing
him
what
in
he's
stuff.
loving doing.
Yeah, so I'm getting exactly. And like Dolly Parton said when she was wearing a fur coat in the middle of summer when she was doing Steel Magnolias, I might have complaints, but I can't complain now. This is what I wanted. So this is like I'm getting things handed to me, and I'm so grateful that that people are like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do this little voiceover thing? You want to do this script I'm doing? You want to be in this little movie? And I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah, as long as I'm not eating,
And the thing is
dog
also,
feces.
John, you're so good at it. Like
when you had me do the
I was
Van
gonna
Helsing
say,
thing, I
when
loved
we
every
did
minute of that.
When we did the Dracula trailer, which I haven't made public yet, but I will.
Damn it! It's good. I told your ass to make that thing and then send it to a fucking film festival. Why?
I'm probably going to.
Probably.
We'll
do I
dish
have
later.
to be Yoda with you?
No, you don't.
Do or do not. There is no try.
I reserved it because I didn't know if we were going to do a bigger thing, and I was going to do a Kickstarter and all this stuff. And I may, but I'm not gonna hold the trailer back any longer. I'm gonna be like, here's the trailer, and then if we decide to
there's so
produce
many
this,
gay lesbian festivals. That fucking thing is waiting to be seen. You could get awards for that. What's wrong with you?
Well, I thought, without going into it, I'm like, I'm going to revise the script, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm like, no, let's just put it out there. But my point was, I said, I was like, you're going to do this, and I'd like this and this, and then you did it, and I was like, oh, this is better than I could ever have anticipated. So, I mean, it was like, it's exactly what I wanted and exactly why I was like, John is the one to do this. And I was like, oh, man.
Thank you. I am so upset. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grazie.
But, so spoilers, I played Dracula, my big fat ass. And I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to direct. But then, like, casting in Houston has been incredibly difficult. It's never been this difficult before.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I'm curious.
Just like putting out a casting notice, like, hey, I'm looking for actors to do this this concept trailer, and like I had to reel in people I knew because like nobody would bite. So I don't know if it was the gay themes thing or.
But there are gay people in Texas, aren't there?
What's that?
There's gay people in Texas?
Oh, yeah. Well, one or two. But it's just, I think, I don't know. I went a lot through Facebook and those actor groups. I don't even know if the post got seen because of the almighty algorithm. So it's just like, it's a new world with casting, because I remember back in the olden days when I had the theater company in Austin, there was one of those just groups, and you'd like throw out a casting notice, and you'd get 50 people show up.
Right.
And I don't know. Anyway, but I'm happy with how it turned out. And
I was extremely pleased with how it turned out. I was like, wow, and it was a good idea. If you know what I mean, it was a good idea. I was like, wow, this is good. I like this New Orleans thing. I mean, it does a mild callback to Anne Rice and having all that great voodoo shit going on down there. But to have Van Helsing as a voodoo priest kind of character, I was like, oh, that's cool. I like it.
Well, it kind of gets away from the overtly Catholicism thing, which I have no problem with, but it's just like I just kind of brainstormed, what can I do differently, that hasn't with these characters that hasn't, at least that I know of, been done before, and I'm like, well, it makes sense because I mean, I was originally going to put it in New York, and it literally is like, where can I afford to shoot this?
Right.
And then I'm like, well, let's do it in New Orleans. And then it just kind of opened up this whole new toy box of character choices. So anyway, but thank you. I'm happy you were pleased with it. And I am
looking forward to you touring it about.
Yes. But yes, you're fantastic at everything you do, and I love that you are able to like be happy with the creative things you're doing, and that they come to you, that way. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah. I'm glad that because there was a time at one point where I was concerned that again, this is like me name dropping and all that because I can. It's like, oh, you dropped something, a name. But like when I was working, with the La Martinez, Melissa, and then Chris, for Sale by Exorcist, if it wasn't for the fact that Melissa has a background of being a horror host herself with Aurora Borealis. And that
I love that name.
Right. And because I didn't always feel like my resume was particularly legit enough for what she asked me to do. But, if they had asked, I would have told them, I've been performing or acting since I was a kid. I was in every theater thing I could think of. All the way up into high school, and then when I got out of high school, stand-up comedy. So it's okay. You can give me an acting part. I could do it.
I think you've done a lot of wonderful things. So don't be
this
nice
is so
to
good
yourself.
For my ego. Thank you.
Yes. I know what I was going to say. So we're going to backtrack a little bit.
Good.
And this sort of goes into the horror host stuff as well.
Yes.
But it's like we were talking about Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
When I had talked to Danielle, Penny Dreadful, and I was like, hey, I love doing all this stuff, and I had all these horror host influences. I'd like to do it. And I kind of was like, I don't want to, think I'm riding your coattails or anything. And she's like, no, go forth, produce it.
Right.
So, of course, one of the first things I find is it The American Scream, or am I thinking of another documentary?
There's American Scary.
The American Scary. Okay, there's another one I love called The American Scream, which is the haunted house thing. Anyway, American Scary is the horror host one. Mm-hmm. Of course, you're in that, but Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, I used to be so proud of that. It's
kind of like the bookend of it. So anyway, and that
I used
was
to be so proud of that association. I used to be so proud that I was in the same movie with him.
Yeah.
But carry on. What was your point exactly?
That's my point. It's like it there's not much out there that hasn't been tainted in some way.
He said taint.
So it's like we have to kind of have to sort of surgically in our mind take those things away and appreciate the other. Like, I think the American Scary documentary is fantastic, and it's a great history of all these hosts, and it documents, like, not Svengoolie, Zachary, before he died. I mean, that's a really important historical document. So it's like we can't let the bookend, if you will, of Neil Gaiman tainted.
Again, I'm one of those people where this is going to hopefully make you laugh. Like when people used to say they want to tear down statues or get rid of Confederate flags, I'm like, as a black person, as a gay person, a Confederate flag is a McDonald's sign to let me know where not to go. Keep them up, please, so I know where not to go. I'm fine with them. It doesn't offend me. It lets me know, this is where your head is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100% about, it's a shame that Neil Gaiman is the bookend of that.
But they didn't know that at the time.
They didn't know.
How
the hell
so I'm
can
not,
you
I don't want to come across as criticizing the producers in any way,
shape,
or form.
No, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. We're both voicing our disappointment at the fact that, damn,
Yeah.
It's a shame. We're going to have to watch it and go, okay.
So.
It's like open, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Neil Gaiman.
Yeah,
it's a shame about him. It was like with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was being all bigoted about gay people when he was governor of California.
Yeah.
I used to love myself some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. When I watch Conan the Barbarian or Terminator, every once in a while I'll have a yeesh moment because I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
But then I get over it a couple of seconds later,
Yeah. Well, I also have to. He's not quite that way anymore.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
So,
you're right.
I also will respect people that have grown. Eddie Murphy, for example, I used to have a vendetta against.
I don't blame him for that either.
But I feel like as you age and you're like, you know what, I was wrong, and you publicly say I was wrong.
Yeah.
I can respect that too. So,
long as it's not a deathbed confession, I'm fine with anybody learning from, because my husband, he knows how much I hate deathbed confessions, because I'm going to tell you this, and this is not supposed to make you depressed.
Well, deathbed
my dad was a bit of a dick to me.
Too late, so
Too late.
Good in the world. Anyway.
My dad was a bit of a dick.
Oh, mine was too.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page about that. And he was a hardworking man, but he was still a bit of a dick. And he always tried to thwart all of my creative efforts and whatever it was. And near the time when he was about to die, and around that time, he said, "Why don't you put some of your pictures up on the wall?" And I'm like, you asshole, you were like not liking anything that I was doing. Now you want to be nice to me? So deathbed confession to me are like, I knew I was a dick the whole time, but now I'm trying to make for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah.
Well, you got more than I did. Of course, my dad just dropped dead from a heart attack, but and I did not shed a tear. But I literally this past year wrote a play about his funeral, and what a shit show that was, because he had.
Was it a good shit show or a bad shit show?
Well, in retrospect, it was just like bring the popcorn, but he had girlfriends coming out of the woodwork, and one was this like crazy Republican bitch who didn't want my mother there. It was just a whole thing. And I wrote a play about it, just skewering them and him and everything. So
wow,
it's available on Amazon.
It is.
Yes. It's called My Father's Funeral.
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of that.
Yep. So let's segue into. Tell me, I know I've got one of your books. Tell me about your writing process and some of the things you've done.
Okay, writing. I remember I took a year off to write. One of my favorite books that I wrote was it's called Rites of Pretending Tribe. I wanted to do a fantasy novel, and then at some point I said I want to do a horror novel. Mm-hmm. And then at some point I just kept writing things, short stories, things like that, postmodernist stuff. And then at some point I got to the one thing that I'm especially happy about, which is there are no bad movies, only bad audiences.
Which I say literally all the time.
Yeah. And I wrote it because I was, you obviously like myself, where we were always picked on about our taste, the way we behaved, the way we thought, the way we believed, whatever somebody's fucking with us.
And I want to add to that also, I remember getting my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and then I got my theater company together in Austin, and the first thing we did was my stage adaptation of Night of the Living Dead. And one of my professors looked so down his nose at that. And I'm like, because it's not Shakespeare, it's not Chekhov, it's not whatever. And I'm like, fuck you. It's what makes me happy and what I want to do.
Right.
So it's like it's not even from our parents or wherever. It's also the people that like we respect and our influence, or our teachers or whatever, do the same damn thing. Anyway, I just wanted to give that footnote.
And I'm with you on that because, again, we'll touch on that where it's like, like from a parent or from a grandparent, you sit there and you listen to it and you listen to it and you listen to it and you finally get to a point where you go, holy fucking God, I was listening to you this whole time?
Yeah.
I was listening to you.
I've had those epiphanies as well lately.
Yeah. It breaks your heart. It's like, I'm supposed to look up to you, and you are just, oh, God, what am I going to do? And that's one of the reasons why I wrote that book. I mean, when I wrote it, I knew that it was going to be somewhat like a Valerie Solanas manifesto, where I knew I was going to vent, but I knew that I also had to be measured about it so people won't think that's all I'm doing, which is venting. But when you read that thing, and like I said, I'm very proud of it because people have come to me all the time going, there are bad movies. There are bad movies. And I was like, you motherfuckers are not even paying attention to the second part of the title, which is bad audiences. And that's why I'm glad that it creeps into their psyche somehow.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I'm being a dick when I'm sitting there telling people that I don't like what they like and being a nebbish about it. Oh, I get it now. And when people get it, they're like, dude, it was like, it's not really a book about literary criticism. No, it's a book about treating people better. I hate going to fan sites now. Doctor Who fan sites. Yeah. It breaks my heart. These people are just being dicks. Like when Doctor Who was a woman, assholes. Doctor Who now is a gay black man, assholes. I'm like, they're like, oh, the stories are bad, but I'm like, everybody's just like lines and lines and lines of just negativity, and I'm like, where is this entitlement coming from?
I've had this conversation with a lot of fans in different fandoms, but it's like so I've been very involved with the Masters of the Universe fandom, and I've been on part of a team that's written books for Dark Horse Comics about the characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Why am I just knowing this now?
Well, Penny Dreadful was on the same team, so I mean, we've all kind of
because I knew about Penny, but she didn't tell about you. Oh, that's so cool.
Yep, I did quite a bit of it myself as well.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
But especially when the new TV series came out on Netflix, and people were just so nasty about different things before the story was even told. And I'm tired of this. So I just kind of backed away, and I know Danielle did too. We just kind of backed away from it. It's like, I am not going to destroy something I've spent the last 40 years loving because of somebody else's attitude.
Right.
So,
It's, and again, the internet has lent itself to this concept that everybody feels like they're more well-informed now. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. And if you don't like something, if somebody keeps saying, oh, I like the book better, then keep reading the book.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie is better than the book, then keep loving the movie.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
it's
for
like
years,
this perpetual argument that I have to be right. I have to be in control. It has to be
right. And I'm not sure.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't.
I'm not sure where. I'm not sure what the catalyst or the I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what the fuck happened. Why are people like ourselves scratching their heads over what they're doing about why I don't even know why.
I think it's just so I used to be a middle school theater teacher.
Really?
For a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it was not. Because during that time, I saw the shift of like, I understand the way the world is going now, and it is, I do not fit in with this particular mindset because, it is the internet gone crazy.
Yeah.
It is that, like, we're going to just be mean girls for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And that's the kids and some of the adults and the parents I dealt with. I'm just like, this is not good. And now we see it all over the place. So who knows what in the hell is about to happen?
Did you ever see the remake of Carrie with Julianne Moore?
I have. It's been a few years, but yes.
My favorite part of the movie is at the prom, they revised how Carrie has become embarrassed. They're gonna laugh at you. That scene.
Yeah.
They revised it by an ingenious update of cyberbullying. They made a cyber, and that was the first time. I mean, because when I first saw Carrie, the original, that broke my heart. But that was ingenious and sad and heart-wrenching. I still think about that scene, and that movie was good, actually.
Yeah.
And the fact that people, you have to be a particular brand of malicious asshole to cobble that video together and embarrass her like that. When everybody died at that prom in that version of Carrie, they deserved to die, because that was not only the internet, but that was going to be, I mean, it was not there, but all over the internet, where everybody would see that forever, because now bullying just doesn't just stop at school.
Right.
It now it is on the internet forever. There are people actually making hate pages against a kid. I mean, these poor kids some kids killing themselves over it, and I get it. I'm like, because it was so much simpler back when we were kids, where when somebody picked on us, it was right then, right now. It's a moment in time that you either get over it or you don't. Now everybody sees your degradation from here to Taiwan, for God's sake.
Yeah. And, I'm sure you've said the same thing. I'm so glad I didn't grow up around cell phones.
Oh, God, I'm so glad.
And cameras and all of that. So.
But I tell you, I hate to sound like I'm going to have an American flag floating behind my head in a couple of seconds. But the best part of America and the internet is when you had these people, when they did finally interact with somebody that actually goes, yeah, I'm in Peoria. My fucking life is a mess. Can somebody please validate me? And somebody in Brooklyn, New York is going, girl, Miss Thing, yeah, I feel you. And that's the part where I'm going, wow, that's the best part of the internet. The worst part of the internet, it's like, it's very polarized. It's like, it's either fantastic as a resource or fucking like we've all been doing lately, which is, when I'm on the internet, it's for looking for something fun, Instagram, promoting something on Facebook, I don't know if you were on Facebook recently where I put a picture of me in drag, and it's not really a drag image. Just go. And that's what it's for, to entertain. But when it's bad, like we don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
We watch nature shows
absolutely
in the morning,
not.
because we can't watch the news. We can't. It just, what is the new term? Doom scrolling. Fuck's sake, it's a real thing.
Yeah. I was going to leave Facebook completely. As a matter of fact, like, I shut down all my pages. I even got rid of the Demented Features page, everything. I was going to just leave.
Yeah.
So I'm a massage therapist, and I'm also a ghost tour guide.
Which is awesome too.
And so when I got that job, of course, they all communicate through Facebook, and it's kind of part of the job.
So you had to go back.
It's like, and then also like I sell and buy through Facebook Marketplace, and so like if you get out of that, it's so fucking Mark Zuckerberg has gotten me reeled in, but I've just made the conscious decision that I'm not going to interact with it any more than I absolutely have to. So
yeah, I mean, because like you don't want to sit there and give somebody a massage and end up choking the shit out of them by accident because of all sorts of. It's like I didn't ask for the chiropractor shit. You're hurting me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I'm
break your
so
neck.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So,
gave you the
but it's
Linda
like,
Blair special.
if you're going to market yourself, that is where 99% of the world is. So it's like, yeah.
And that's all I use it for, as a resource. And then there's a lot of people I just want to keep up with, and those who are still there, I keep up with them there, or Instagram. Pinterest is for old people. I have a new recipe for tater tot casserole. Jeez.
I barely use Pinterest. It's fun to go find things and get inspiration for little stupid shit from, like, I would do it for set design and costume design all the time.
Yeah.
But like, unless I'm going and looking for something, I'm like, so.
Yeah.
I hate to admit this because as a voice actor, you're like, AI is the absolute blah, blah. But I've started to learn how to use ChatGPT.
And what does that do exactly? Explain to Grandpa here what
So I really had to like watch some YouTube videos and kind of learn, but just in like, I'll give you an example. So in marketing my my massage therapy business, I'm like, I'm not good at marketing. I have no concept of how to look at analytics and interpret any of that, and so I got some kind of like video or something that says, if you do this and and you work on ChatGPT and you like put in these parameters, it will do a lot of this for you and help you learn how to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see. So I did it, and like, boom, it just gives you like, here are all these analytics, and here's like your specific region, what they're looking for, and the keywords they're looking for. So it helped me revamp my website, and it helped me do some stuff like that. So it's like,
because I remember when you were talking about doing something new with your website, and I went to it. Yeah.
So, and this is the massage therapy business website. And so with Demented Features, I'm like, well, maybe we can make that a little bit fancier and shinier, because right now it's sort of like, this is me and these are my episodes, and there's not much to it other than that. And so I kind of I don't know. So it's just it's opened a world where if I don't know how to do something, I can say, I don't know how to do this, teach me, and basically hold my hand,
right,
like I'm a 3-year-old, and explain it to me, and it will. And so that's kind of cool. But it also terrifies me, like, what are the nuclear codes? So,
I would prefer to have AI help me to do something than for it to be, I mean, like AI in my instance for art, it's like, no, you're not going to fucking do AI art for me.
Right.
I mean, now I did use it for when I wanted to do a music video because I didn't have the resources to do a music video. So I was like, okay, I can waste $10 in 3 minutes and see what happens.
Yeah.
But if it was left up to me, and if I had the resources and the time and all that kind of shit, I taught myself how to animate, for God's sake. I could do it myself, but doing my own animation as opposed to that thing doing it for under 5 minutes, I'll do it. I'll do it,
And I mean, I have a very serious reservation with that too, because, it takes stuff from around the internet. It's a robot.
Yeah.
So it's stealing information and digesting it.
And that's what I heard. A lot of artists who are seeing some of their stuff being extrapolated and manipulated in such a way where it it skirts the surface of copyright infringement.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I know, like the one time, like I said, when I used it to make a video, I started it off with an illustration of my own, and then it extrapolated from that point on, and added stuff from wherever, what other source there was from that original drawing. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's bad, fire bad.
Yeah.
It's the devil.
Yeah. And, when you hear these AI voices that I have heard replacing voiceover actors over and over and over again,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was almost in an instance where I was going to do voiceover for these people, and they had a little thing in the. You know what? It was you. Thank God it was you. Yes, it was you.
Oh yeah, where they're like, we're going to use it to train our AI stuff, and I'm like, do not sign that.
You told me to keep an eye on that, and I certainly did from that point on, because the contract said something to the effect of forever and ever, amen. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yep. We'll own your voice for whatever we want to do with it till the ends of time and beyond. I'm like, absolutely not.
Now, James Earl Jones, before he died, actually signed a contract with somebody that said you could use his voice forever. I mean, I'm dead. What does it matter to me?
Yeah. And I know, like, especially for, like, Darth Vader and so forth.
Oh, God,
I mean, like,
you need
that
to
was
have
so
that
iconic.
voice.
I'm like, as an actor, if I, like, created that, I'd be like, you can use my AI version instead of replacing somebody, because this is what I created, and this is what is in everybody's head. So
I remember as a kid when I heard the radio show of Star Wars, and they had Brock Peters playing Darth Vader. And it wasn't that he didn't sound like Darth Vader. He just didn't have the same timing.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had, because I don't know if Brock Peters ever did Shakespeare. I know that James Earl Jones, I was about to say James Earl Ray. James Earl Jones, I know for a fact that Shakespeare, and it is something Shakespearean about. Yes, there's something wonderfully Shakespearean about Darth Vader and the way Jones did it. So it's like, going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan when James Earl Jones is playing Thulsa Doom. Fuck's sake, even I would have sat there and worshipped Set because of that man. I mean, James Earl Jones, that voice. Come on now, you can't be. You got to be hypnotized. Help me, I'm hypnotized.
Agreed. But anyway, yeah, it's just there's a lot there's some great things, and then there's a lot of things you got to watch out for, just like everything else in life. But it's just as we get older, it's like I have no idea what we're about to cross into. So
I try my best not to think about the future in terms of the world anymore. I try to make sure that I maintain good friendships as I have right now, keeping positive people in my existence to counteract all the bullshit I think is going to probably happen.
100%. Yep.
But
here's another thing. And, I may be fooling myself that I'm just like every future old person that's ever existed. And I probably am. But it's like, a lot of younger people, I've seen this trend where they are going more analog, and they want to experience the stuff you and I experience, because there's not so much noise and overwhelming, nonsense. And that's why I think stupid shit like having a horror host and just kind of having that little picture of time where it's like, we're going to like celebrate these old movies and these old horror movies and just, the silliness about it. I think there is something to be said of like keeping that alive, because it's something that brings happiness, and it's not all of the other bullshit.
I think that people do. I really agree with that. Actually, I agree that people want a homegrown atmosphere of things. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, what you just said about the analog. Now, mind you, he was a bit more cynical about it because he was like, sure, you could get a turntable and play your vinyl records, but to get a good turntable is $4,000. And I was like, dude, you don't gotta pay $4,000. He kept showing me $4,000 turntable. Like, dumbass, you don't have to pay that much money.
I have a turntable from Target that probably cost $50.
Hello.
And you know what? I am absolutely happy with that.
Hello.
Does the sound great? No. But I can play my little vinyl record albums, and I have that experience like I was 10 years old, and that's what it is.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, now, the thing that I complained about that I agreed with him about was when I was a kid, and you were a kid, I don't know how old you were when you bought your first, and every once in a while I'll say LP because I'm fucking sick and tired of vinyl. LP, long playing record, 45, the 45.
A record.
A record. I would pay $6.
Oh, yeah.
For an LP. Now,
They're
$30?
Yep.
20. I mean, yeah, you're fooling me when you're saying $29.99. Oh, it's a bargain.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
damn, $34? I mean,
yep.
What? I mean, I remember when it was the other way around, when buying the first CD you wanted to buy was $30.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 16. That's the only drawback. Now you can go to all these old used record stores and you get stuff back more or less to the price that we used to get. But every once in a while, you know, like I tried to buy a Parliament Funkadelic record. That thing, they were talking about $30. Like, I paid $6 for that bitch when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'll be goddamn, I'm going to pay. Okay, I need it. Give me.
Well, I bought, this has probably been a couple of years ago now, but I bought the Thriller album.
Jesus, how much was it? $24.95?
Well, I mean, you know, I bought the new one that you can get in the store, and I'm sure it was $25.
It was $24.95. I know.
So, but
no, they didn't even have no extra songs.
They did not. But yeah, we could just go and get this stuff for $6. So,
but I agree with you. That is, I think that people do indeed want a do-it-yourself, homegrown. People are trying to wean themselves, to a certain extent, away from the internet, because a lot of folks are like ourselves. Like when we go back to what we're talking about, we're sick of the negativity. We're sick of, you know, like politics. We're not going to do deep dive into politics, but the way politics are now, people don't want to talk about it anymore. We're preaching to ourselves, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Facebook, I did a massive purge of anybody that remotely. I used to have a boss who was quite a supporter of number 45, 47.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that he had a coin in his drawer of /45, 40.
So he bought one of those shitty coins from
Yeah. And
I'm going to sneeze. Go ahead.
Wonderful boss. He was a great boss, but his politics sucked. Are you alive? Are you alive? Are you alive? Don't you die in the middle of my sentence.
I'm going to try not to.
God damn it, stay alive.
Here's the thing with that. They may be sweet people, and to your face, they may be, oh, no. Mm-hmm. But if you support someone like that, you know there's demons in the closet. You know that whatever they have at your face, they don't like you. They don't agree with you. They look down at you. All these things. They don't think you should exist as a human being. So those people, I don't care how sweet they are. I don't trust them.
I love you so much right now because my mindset is the same way, because it's like, how are you these things if you don't? how can you agree with that if you don't have that in you?
Right.
I mean, I know I'm going to have friends of mine who are going to see this, and they're going to, and I've already said on Facebook a number of times, I'm not going to delete you on my own, because that is not the kind of person I am. Yeah. I'm asking you. I told them, all the people on Facebook, just to let them know, if you could delete yourself from my existence, please do.
Great.
Because I am not going to be that person. I mean, I could. Yeah. I could do it, but I want them that have voted for that to think about it. I want you to think long and hard. You have me as a friend. I am a black man. I am a gay man. Mm-hmm. I am a liberal man. And if you voted for that person, are you humoring me as a friend?
Yeah.
It's like that song, Sondheim. You know, you said you love me, but were you just being kind, or am I losing my fucking mind? Mm-hmm. Sondheim is a genius.
Yes.
My God, he should have ran for president.
We'd have 4 years of just this very complicated musical number.
Yeah. But there's a part of me that is entertained by it, and hear me out, is entertained.
Oh, no.
Is entertained by it because it's like watching all that shit we used to watch back in the 80s. Dynasty, Falcon Crest.
If I didn't think I was going to have to, if I didn't think I was going to have to run for my life and cross the border somewhere, yes, I'd just have some popcorn and watch the world burn. And maybe I just need to have that mindset. But I'm like, you know, and then they came for me. I feel like
that's the thing that turns it less of a nighttime soap, when it was all right watching them when they didn't have access to legislation, part of part of making laws.
Yep.
Legislation. Oh, fuck it. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It was okay when they didn't have control over my government. I've been wanting to say to people, I've said to people, like, if you're going to be fucking with me personally, why am I paying taxes?
Right.
I am tired of paying into a system that won't leave me alone, because I pay into their system, but they want to keep fucking with me. I'm not even bothering you. I'm giving you money for roads, infrastructure, all this stuff, and you're pissed off about drag queens. You know, you probably want to light a cross in front of my house.
Yeah.
And you want me to shut up about it. You're saying that, I'm like, and I'm so sick and tired of the word woke, because you don't even know what the fucking word woke means.
No, you don't. Yeah.
All it means is empathy.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, for God's sake, with her Cruella coat. Come on now.
Yeah,
she's got a boyfriend now. I thought that once she got her pipes clean, she'd be fine.
God. No, those people are rotten from the inside out, so.
And I'm not even bothering them.
You don't have to clean out the fatberg. They are the fatberg.
What the? You don't have to. You need to do that with a southern accent next time. You don't have to clean out the fat bird.
You don't have to clean out the fat bird. They are. Let's see if I can do it. You don't have to clean out the fat bird. They are the fat bird.
The fat bird.
Sure, that's a sure. There we go. There it is. That's it. You don't have to clean out the fatberg. They are the fatberg.
Oh my God, that's like jiggling keys over my bassinet.
That's a serious foundation problem.
Oh Holy God.
Yeah, I still have it. You have to find it sometimes. But
Yeah.
I would do Mitch McConnell occasionally. I don't know if I can.
Oh
find Mitch
my
McConnell
God.
Oh, that's a bastard. I want to see rotten hell. Anyway,
what gets on my nerves about him, the phrase from Alien, Ian Holm, where he says, "I admire its purity."
oh my God.
He is such a genius at Slither.
Yeah.
Slither. He is, I mean, I would watch him sometimes. I'm like, fuck. If I wasn't paying attention, I would have believed what he just said. But he slithers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Back when that January 6th thing happened, he slithered like a genius. He sat there and was like, wow, what's going on? Yes, I don't appreciate what he did, but I think we should wait until afterwards. And the next thing you know, the guy has been allowed to be president. If Mitch McConnell had just said, this man is never allowed to be president again because of January 6th, just gone through with it, instead of now that he's about to retire and probably croak thereafter.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's like, well, he's a dick. So he was a dick then. I remember when he was talking about, he was sitting in one of the meetings with 45, and people were like, I heard that 45 had a tantrum. What do you say about that, Mitch McConnell?
Mechanical.
I didn't witness anything. And he meant that shit. I didn't recognize any behavior whatsoever. Which means he saw it, but he did not give a fuck. He saw it. I mean, okay.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just but I can't say I'm surprised because this has been building like this for years. So
I was surprised. I mean, shit. If we're talking
I'm
politics,
surprised it's gone this far, and somebody hasn't been like, okay, we need to stop this.
When Kamala Harris ran, I was so. This is one of the reasons why I stopped watching news, because when Kamala ran, everybody kept saying, well, she needs to, reintroduce herself to the American public. And I kept saying, I wish you guys would stop saying that. She is the vice president. She doesn't need to keep. They did everything within their power to not make her a legitimate thing. I mean,
right.
And then of course I was pissed off because, well, if you were going to replace Biden and put her there, I wish you had done it where she had more running lane. The plane had taken off, and then Biden plane got diverted, and then her plane was landing right short of the landing strip, and like, for fuck's sake, she didn't have enough time. And then the reality set in where I was like, it wasn't about her campaign at all. It wasn't about anything about her campaign. She was wonderful. She was a black woman.
I'm about to.
That's all
I'm
it was.
about to be crazy conspiracy theorist here.
Okay, carry on.
And I'm about
baby.
to be. Exactly,
if they can do it, we can, baby. Go ahead.
So, Elon Musk came in and his little cronies and all of this.
Yes.
I don't want to sound like
Baby.
when Biden was elected, but I think they fucking did something sinister and stole the election. That's what I think happened.
Let's put it this way.
Especially because of the swing states, he did not. Anyway,
let's put it
I
this
told you
way.
I'm going to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Let's put it this way. They did implement a lot of to give your conspiracy a level of quote unquote legitimacy because I believe in conspiracy as well. I'm like, they fucked it up somehow, but they fucked it up by doing these things to keep people away from the voting.
Right.
As simple as that. I think there were places where, where people who wanted to vote couldn't.
Yeah.
There are people who probably in place who, like that lady who didn't want to help the gay couple get married. There might have been people who were like, we're going to act like we're counting this, but we're not. But here's the thing, conspiracy aside, our side wanted to make people feel as though democracy and voting is not a fucked waste of time.
Right.
And it galls me that we, as Democrats, we are taking a high road, but it galls me that we are, even though we might have an inkling that there is something going on here. Because how in the fuck did that man win twice?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. I mean, we all can see. I mean, it's not even the emperor wears new clothes anymore. It's like we all know that he is. When you have people sitting there saying, "Oh God," everybody's picking on Donald Trump. I'm like, he in New York has been doing illegal things with property and management and all this stuff for years.
Yeah.
These are not things. I'm like, the man is an asshole.
Had the Democrats at any time in history done any of this shit,
they would have been out.
Out. Period.
Even as it stands, we have people in Congress back in the day, like was it Al Franken? Mm-hmm. When Al Franken, some lady was saying, "Oh, he said something that made me uncomfortable. He touched me uncomfortably, etc., etc." He was like, "All right, I bow out of my position. Goodbye."
Yeah.
People used to take responsibility. People used to have integrity. Yeah. Now you got some lady in a white polar bear coat booing people, and it's okay.
Yeah.
They're fine with that. I'm like, what the fuck? All these years I've been trying to be a decent person, and they tell me I'm being woke. What? Yeah. I'm trying to be a decent person.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
And we're going to gossip a little more offline because I'm going to name names and fingers. But on that note, I think this is more relevant than ever. My book, Night of the Living Dead, the stage play, is available on Amazon.
That's beautiful.
It is the revised script and then a lot of archival and pictures from the stage play. Thank you so much.
Well, now that you're doing that,
you got to plug yours too.
I have mine. There are
no bad
movies, only bad audiences. That's right.
And believe me, I'd like to end on a quick story.
Oh, okay.
Kevin, my husband, and I went to see the Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. Is that the one? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great movie. We saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
That was the last time I'm like, we're going to go to a mainstream theater. Yeah. The guy next to me was on his phone the entire time.
Oh, Jesus.
And during like the height of the movie, he was snoring next to me. I'm like, that's a bad audience right there.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I'm fine going to the movie by myself.
I have enjoyed the hell out of having you here.
Yes, and obviously I had I'm glad that this finally happened. I'm glad that opportunity presented itself where I'm like, yay!
Well, don't go anywhere. But I will say that is all for tonight.
Yes.
My frightful friends. Yes. Thanks for creeping around the Monster Kid playground, where the monsters are mostly friendly. Mostly. We talk politics sometimes, evidently. The popcorn tends to be stale. And the screams are always welcome. I've been your host, Danvers, a.k.a. John Faust. I want to thank John Dimes, Dr. Sarcofiguy himself, for being with us. And until next time, keep it spooky. And remember, if something goes bump in the night, it's probably me. It's probably me. All right, we will see you again next episode. Bye.
Bye.